delivered them, who received them. But for whatever reason, when they had this grand jury investigation and they asked the board, who received these books, they couldn't answer. There's some things that we should expect of our board. Now, as soon as the board could not answer, they should have asked the superintendent, where did $12 million worth of books go? And if the superintendent said, I don't know, should that superintendent keep a job?
No.
There's certain things, you don't have to be no expert. It is common sense. I don't know about you. But if at the end of the day, if they still cannot locate them $12 million worth of books, every one of us as parents, homeowners, and taxpayers need to say, oh, those are grounds for recall. Because we don't have $12 million for you to mess over. Overcharge for legal representation. Lord have mercy. We had 2 law firms that we were paying for. Now, I want to read the quote from Sarah Copeland Woods. She said, and I quote, when asked why the board hired 2 legal firms, Sarah Copeland Woods revealed that the board wanted to have a minority firm representing the school, and the board wanted this minority firm because they understand the culture of the kids.
She did. She really did.
I don't know about you, but when I go to hire an attorney, I can care less what culture he understands. I need to know, do you know the law?
Right.
What we have to also understand is that when we're paying for 2 law firms, we also have a law firm that we pay that is representing the school board. A lot of these law firms were hired for other issues, like the one with Henry and Mitchell. Is it Henry? Perry and Mitchell, I'm sorry.
There was also no negotiation of terms at all. They're paying $750 an hour, which is asking price. They didn't bother to negotiate any of the terms. They just signed on the line.
And they spelled out in here that there was actually a law firm that was $400,000 less. And it was representing Cobb, Fulton, and Clayton counties in Georgia. And when they asked the board, you know, as far as why didn't they choose that firm that was charging less? See, there's certain things that is in this report should cause us all concern. Because when we overspend, when you talk about overage and legal representation, then we don't have money to pay our bus drivers. Yeah. We don't have money to pay our teachers. We can't even give people a cost of living increase. Another is the bad policies and procedures. Now, one thing that bothered me as far as this that I picked out was Mr. Womack said that approximately $450,000 in Title I federal funds was used to purchase textbooks without approval of the board. Now, there's a policy that when something is over $100,000, it's supposed to get the approval of the board. But in this situation, it didn't happen. Now, Dr. Eugene Walker, he stated that the purchase did not violate board policy. However, Womack disagreed. Now, I don't know about the people in this room, but nobody should be able to spend $450,000, almost $500,000, and the board don't vote on it. What happened through the cracks. And then the fifth was poor oversight. I'm here to tell you that the lawsuit that we're having, they asked our board members, because they was having problems with Perry Mitchell. That lawsuit, remember they said, was responsible for some poor construction of schools. I know that one of them that they stated was MLK. They did a countersuit for 110. They asked the board members, how much would it cost to make the corrections when you're dealing with this lawsuit? They said $180 million. It is then that the grand jury said, well, you're $70 million short. Why didn't you ask for the full 180? Then they said, well, how much was it for the attorneys? We had spent, what, about $18 million on King and, what's that, King and Spalding? And then another $19 million in fees. Y'all, that's $37 million in fees. How many people could we have paid with $37 million? A number of teachers and people who work for our system have not seen a raise or anything close to it for over 5 years. When you read this, oh, somebody put 7, 8 years? But when you read this, this is something that shouldn't be happening with our tax dollars. We have put this in bullet points, and we're asking that you go through, and it's important that we read what is in this grand jury investigation. Because I honestly believe we need to go even deeper and really try and find out what is going on with our school system. Do anyone have any questions about the grand jury investigation? I just wanted to give you a highlight of some items that were in it.
What year did that come out, the grand jury investigation?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the.
It says in March and April
It
on your
was
thing.
last year, wasn't it?
Was it earlier? This is the most
No, this one here I think came out